Hi, and welcome to 959 Phonics. For our lesson today, you will need the worksheet for this lesson. If you don't have the worksheet, it's okay. You might not be able to do all of the activities in this lesson, but you can certainly read and follow along with the video. So what we're going to do today, we're going to do some to, with, and by reading. I'm going to read to you, then we're going to do some shared reading, and then you're going to take this poem and go read it by yourself to someone else. This poem today is called A Mouse in Her Room. And before we read it, I want you to think about your experiences with mice. Have you ever had a mouse in your house? How do you feel about mice? Have you ever tried to catch a mouse or had an animal that caught a mouse? Okay, so now you've got your mind thinking a little bit about what you know about mice. And this is a funny poem today that I want to read to you first. So just listen, but you can follow along with your eyes. A mouse in her room. A mouse in her room woke Miss Dowd, who was frightened and screamed very loud. Then a happy thought hit her. To scare off the critter, she sat up in her bed and meowed. Pretty clever way to frighten away a mouse, don't you think? Or as they called it in this story, a critter. Okay, so now we're going to read that together. But as we do that, we're going to highlight some magic rhymes. So you will need a highlighter or a marker or a pen to do this work. Let's read the title first. A Mouse in Her Room. A mouse in her room woke Miss Dowd. Let's look at her name, because you might see that character's name and go, ooh, I'm not sure how to say her name. But if you know something about word parts, you can figure out how to read her name. So Miss Dowd, her last name Dowd, has a magic rhyme in it. Do you see what it is? It's Owd. Okay, so what you're going to do is highlight that with your marker or highlighter, or circle it with your pen. And then over here in the box, we're going to record all the magic rhymes that we find. So you're going to write Owd. Got it? Okay, read that sentence with me again. Ready? A mouse in her room woke Miss Dowd. Let's read the next phrase. Who was frightened and screamed very loud. Let's do frightened. What's the magic rhyme in frightened? Go ahead, we're going to highlight it. So we see that I-G-H-T. And we've talked about how I-G-H has that I, that long I sound. Go ahead and write. G went kind of crazy there. That I-G-H-T in frighten. You know, there's a lot of really great magic rhymes for us to look at in this line. How about in screamed? Go ahead and highlight that. It's the E-A-M, and that says eam. Okay, so you've highlighted eam. Let's write eam in the box. And then let's look at this word loud. What's the magic rhyme there? O-U-D, highlight that. And I'm going to write mine up here because I want to pay special attention to how O-W-D said owd and O-U-D says out. I think that's interesting. All right, let's read just this line. Who was frightened and screamed very loud. Let's read the next line. Then a happy thought hit her. Let's do happy. What's the magic rhyme in happy? Highlight it. Write it. A P. Read that line with me. Then a happy thought hit her to scare off the critter. Let's look at critter. What's the magic rhyme in critter? IT. Highlight it. And we're going to write it. Let's reread that line. To scare off the critter, she sat up in her bed and meowed. Okay, so let's read this whole poem. You can read it in your head or out loud, whatever is comfortable for you right now. A mouse in her room. A mouse in her room woke Miss Dowd, who was frightened and screamed very loud. Then a happy thought hit her to scare off the critter. She sat up in her bed and meowed. Now that you have this highlighted and you're really letting those magic rhymes jump out at you, I want you to take this to an adult and read it to an adult. You're all done with 9:59 phonics in less than 9 minutes and 59 seconds today. That gives you lots of time to go read and write independently. And as you do, to pay attention to these magic rhymes that should just jump out at you now.